Diagnosis and treatment for your breathing problem with an experienced pulmonologist. For healthier breathing, book an appointment in Clinton today. Call 217-784-2212.
This is Seth Lawrence, News and Program Director for WHOW and WEZC. We take pride in being Clinton and Central Illinois' local radio stations each and every day, 7 days a week. What does local news mean? Here's a sample.
Save-A-Lot turned a truck around within 6 hours and got us a full semi-load of water, which is about 34,000 bottles of water, and that was gone by Tuesday.
And what we've seen is a 24 and some change percent increase in both theft and burglary. Combine those together and you're looking at a 50% increase in property crime.
We've got a trailer, we have 2 vans. Let's explore if we can get mass quantities of water to the community.
You hear the local people that make the news every day, 7 days a week on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM WHOW, and on your easy choice for soft hits, 95.9 FM WEZC.
Covenant Animal Clinic in Clinton now has a new online store for your pet's medicine and supplies. Hi, this is Dr. Seuster inviting you to check out our new online store at covenantanimalclinicil.com or just click on our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
ServPro of Piatt DeWitt Counties for fire and water restoration, reconstruction, and now duct cleaning to keep your air healthy. Find out how they can help you by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
News time is 8 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast. Brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Here's what we have coming up for you in news on this Tuesday. The DeWitt County Land Use Committee Monday night discussed future planning. We'll hear from them coming up in news this morning. Warner Hospital is hoping its new west side entrance will be ready by the spring, and WHOW is hosting a candidates forum in March. Those stories and more come up in news on this Tuesday. We stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. 2018 was the last time the DeWitt County government created a plan for the future, and a DeWitt County board member believes it's past time to get a new plan in place. At Monday night's DeWitt County Land Use Committee meeting, Patrick Ryan inquired about getting a new comprehensive plan rolling. Dee Dee Rentmeister, the DeWitt County administrator, explains the effort includes bringing together a steering committee and having a third party group called TESCA survey DeWitt County residents.
They actually sent out surveys. They went and talked to Farmer City. So you'll see on the steering committee, there's the Farmer City administrator was on that. Every member of the RPC was on the steering committee. Then Shelley Finfrock from Soil and Water, she was part of the steering committee. So we had representatives from Clinton and Farmer City, the county board, and then several of the big businesses in the county. They sent someone to be represented, but TESCA actually did a lot of the legwork. They sent out surveys. They went and talked to, like you'll see on the land use maps on future developments. There's future developments. They talked to like Kenny, what they thought they'd like to see in some of their abandoned buildings, what type of development they'd like to see in those. So TESCA went and like I said, they went out. They did sent out for surveys. Questionnaires went out, and then they compiled that, and when they would certain stages, when TESCA had the information on a certain stage, and they brought that information and then shared it with the steering committee.
Creating a new comprehensive plan is not cheap, and Board Chair Joe Whitty felt using funds from the sale of the Clinton Lake Marina, which were intended for economic development, would be a good use of those dollars.
I mean, to me, the demographics and company names is probably not enough to spend the money to get the thing updated. But if the content and our plan is, vision is somewhat needs to be modified, then it makes sense to look at what's it going to cost to do this again, maybe in fiscal year 26. So the comprehensive plan, we consider that I guess you got a lot of money in the economic development fund. In theory, if we
Well,
wanted to, we
as
could probably tap into that.
Good use for it.
Exactly, we got to
Yeah.
find a thing for it. And
Yeah.
It's promoting, it was designed to promote the county.
For development.
For development.
Yeah. And where should it happen and what should be in those
So,
areas?
The committee decided they'd like to reach out to TESCA to see if they would once again be interested in assisting with the comprehensive plan. They hope to soon create a new steering committee as well.
I guess make a recommendation that we at least begin the process as to
forming a
how to
steering
go
committee.
about it. Look into who's going to lead it, I guess, and how it gets done.
Well, should we reach out, see if did we have a good experience with Tesco?
We did.
If the
I
answer
probably
is,
still have the guy's business card someplace in my business
well, it's,
file.
yeah, they've got the question
I
right there.
can't
and
think of it, but no, they were really easy. I thought they did a good job because they took a plan that U of I students first started. And so they took the old comprehensive plan, they took what the U of I students kind of put together, and then just really, and they had very good references too, which is why we picked them, of doing other comprehensive plans for municipalities and counties.
Due to the structure of the agenda for the meeting, the committee could not take any action or make an official recommendation to the board. February 1st was the best case scenario for the completion date for the latest project at Warner Hospital in Clinton. Paul Skowron is the CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services and indicates they hope to have the new west side entrance complete at some point this spring.
The west side entrance, that'll be the new entrance for the specialty care clinic. Our best case scenario was that it could be open by February 1, and that was based on more moderate weather than we had. As a result of the very cold weeks, we had to postpone some of the work. Now we're going to have a warmer week coming up here than average, so we'll be able to resume. So our new projected opening date is no later than April 1. April 1 is getting the specialty clinic entrance open in the spring is very important because on May 15th, we are going to have a health fair / open house. And so that'll be the culmination of a lot of construction activity, a platform that provides better service for the patients. So we'll both be highlighting, we haven't had a health fair in 2 years, but we'll also be highlighting all of the new entrances and facilities and services that we've been able to construct for the last really 5 years. So we'll be able to show off our expanded emergency room, which is double the size that it was previously, as well as the new specialty clinic entrance, and give a tour of the entire hospital.
The city-owned hospital has had good fortune with weather before January, but a cold and wet month held things up. Skowron notes they were able to make good progress before that.
The steel frame has been installed before the weather got bad. Much of the concrete had been installed. The street has been resurfaced, but the last piece of concrete for the ramp that will allow wheelchairs to be use wheelchairs to get into the entrance there, that had to wait. So now that the steel is up, as soon as the weather breaks here in the next couple weeks, we'll be able to start installing the remaining sidewalk and ramp, as well as the frame for the outside, which will cover patients coming into the entrance and will provide the structure for the sign that says Warner Specialty Clinic that you'll be able to see coming from the west.
According to Skowron, there's been a lot of concrete work done in that area.
The sidewalk and the curb was recut to allow for that. So it was cut in a little bit, and then it was cut down where the wheelchairs will be able to come in. And so all of that is designed for folks to be able to park in the new specialty clinic parking lot right next to it with the electric chargers, as well as drive right up to the sidewalk and let their patients out and get in a wheelchair immediately and roll in up the ramp.
Skowron looks forward to the return of the health fair in May and being able to utilize the new parking lots. 6 candidates will be on the ballot on April 1st for a special election for the vacant seat of mayor in Clinton, and WHOW is inviting the public to attend a mayoral candidate forum on Wednesday, March 19th at 6 p.m. at Clinton High School's auditorium. It'll be broadcast live right here on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM WHOW, as well as on all of WHOW's digital platforms. Each of the candidates has been invited to share their thoughts and feelings on the issues of the day in Clinton. WHOW News and Program Director Seth Lawrence moderates the event. Clinton's mayor seat has been vacant since the summer of 2023. The April 1st election is for the unfinished term of Roger Cerulik. The forum again takes place Wednesday, March 19th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Clinton High School auditorium. If you cannot make it in person, hear it all on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM WHOW, and all our digital platforms. Still to come in news on this here on this Tuesday, we'll have a look at still a recap of last week's Dudley Smith Farm Field Day in Christian County. Also coming up in sports on this Tuesday, Mount Pulaski beat Clinton in high school girls basketball action on Monday night. Monticello got a momentous win over Tolono Unity in girls basketball action. And the registration deadline for Clinton girls softball is coming up. That comes up in sports at 7:30. Every other year, the Harlem Wizards come to Clinton for an entertaining basketball performance. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Executive Director of the Vault, Tammy Wilson, told Regional Radio this year the Harlem Wizards come to Clinton Junior High in April. But first, she needs the community's help to build a team and volunteers to help with the event.
We had the Harlem Wizards back in 2023, I guess. And then we've got them back this coming April. It's going to be at the junior high this year, and it's April 17th, which is a Thursday night, and I believe that's the day before Good Friday. So we do need a team. We've got to get a team together. So we need 25 people to play the Harlem Wizards, and typically it's been our community members, teachers. The kids love to see their teachers out there on the court risking their life and limb to play the Harlem. So we have, right now, I think we've got about 10 people committed. So we need 15 more adults that would be willing to play.
Okay.
It actually is like super, super fun. So we need people to play on the team. And then we also need tons of volunteers for like ticket check-in, concessions, souvenir. They bring all their souvenir stuff, and it's fun to buy Wizards paraphernalia. So anyway, souvenirs, and then our players. So
the event is a major fundraiser for the Vault. The funds come from the event sponsors and ticket sales, which begin in March. This will go towards supporting all of the Vault's programming.
It is a fundraiser for us, a major fundraiser for us, actually. And so we get sponsors. So we're going to be, checking in with businesses and people to sponsor as well. And then it starts at 6:30. Tickets will go on sale, I think sometime in March. I'm assuming in March. And those will be pretty much probably online tickets. I think we had some paper tickets on sale, but mainly online, I believe. And then, so people can buy, I think there's like courtside tickets. Generally, it goes into our general fund, just to fund all our programs and staff, utilities, whatever it is that we need to keep going. And last time they came, I think it was close to 20,000 that we made. It was crazy.
Holy cow.
Like, it was amazing. So that was like one of our best ones. So it was great.
Find more information on this event and the Vault's programming at thevaultclinton.org, or find them on Facebook and Instagram. 21 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time on this Tuesday. More to come on the morning show.
It's time to celebrate winter. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have extra savings on all new Chevrolets this month to celebrate the winter season. See our inventory of Chevrolet Trailblazers, Blazers, and the all-new Chevy Trax. We also have a larger, redesigned 7-passenger Traverse and a good selection of 24 and 25 Tahoes. See our winter celebration savings at BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
News time is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday, pardon me. I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. A 60-year-old woman was pronounced dead at her home last Friday morning, leading to a homicide investigation conducted by the Mattoon Police Department. Officers responded to a call just after 9 o'clock on February 7th in the 2900 block of Oak Avenue. Upon research, responders discovered a deceased woman with clear blunt force trauma to her head. During the investigation, authorities quickly identified the person of interest as her son, 31-year-old Douglas Reed. Located in Moultrie County, Reed was apprehended just over an hour later at 10:45. After being brought in for questioning, Reed admitted to the murder of his mother and provided details about having struck her in the head multiple times using a hammer. Reed stated he had killed her in the early morning hours that Friday and had fled the scene using his deceased mother's car. Following his confession, Reed was placed into custody and charged promptly with first-degree murder. He was later transferred to Coles County Jail. Yet to be disclosed in the case is the possible motive that Reed might have had for the killing, and the investigation remains open. Conservation and farming seems like two completely foreign subjects to those who are not in fields or raising livestock. Interestingly, both can, in some cases, go hand in hand, not only for the benefit of the farmer and his wallet, but for land management practices that benefit everyone involved. Travis Mateer, University of Illinois Extension educator for commercial ag, tells about precision conservation management, or PCM. Mateer notes how cattle producers specifically might be able to utilize these practices while giving a detailed breakdown of his studies.
PCM is actually kind of an opportunity for producers to bring someone else in and have them help them with the paperwork side of cover crops. And here at the Dudley Smith annual winter meeting, we've got a long history of discussing the benefits of cover crops with producers, obviously from a soil health standpoint, but also from a forages perspective. Myself as a beef cattle educator, here in central Illinois, we've seen a lot of our hay acres disappear, the fences be pulled, and so we have a lot of corn and soybean domination. But one of the neat things is we can fit some of these winter cereal crops as cover crops in between our corn and soybean rotation. And the secret to making those cover crops work and economical is to use them for beef cow feed.
With cover crops, beef cattle feed and the purchase of it could be erased from your budget. Mateer gives an idea on what cover crops can fit into your rotation and how the harvesting of them can be done.
But yes, from a beef cattle side, it is more economical in most cases than going out and purchasing harvested feed. So, for instance, hay. So not only are we saving feed, but it's local, it's available, it's on farm. We're not having to truck it in and spend a lot of time and labor with transportation of that feed stuff too. So producing on-farm feeds at an economical price can help the feed cost, lower our feed rations for our beef cows. And then obviously I think in these scenarios where we're following this crop maybe with a soybean, there are some benefits there like potentially weed control, et cetera.
With cover crops, Mateer notes that for many, cover crops can actually net savings while sustaining nutrients for that next staple crop.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most popular thing right now is to utilize something like cereal rye or winter triticale or even a blend of cereal rye and wheat. First off, get that ground covered. Fighting soil erosion is really, I think, a really huge benefit that maybe gets overlooked in the soil health side of things. But from my perspective as a beef cattle producer myself, and then also someone who consults with area beef cattle producers, is the opportunity to use that for feed. And so we know that those overwintering cover crops we can harvest early in the spring. Sometimes it does take a little bit more equipment to do. We can graze them if the weather is fit and right. We can also harvest those forages mechanically through baleage or chopping and ensiloing those forages in a pit silo or even a plastic silo bag. So a lot of opportunity. We can make a ton of feed. So sometimes we're chasing every ditch and waterway to make dry hay around here. It's pretty nice to go out and have a year's worth long of feed supply made early in the spring before we even get into the growing season. That's one of the big benefits. We've got some research. Dr. Scheich is here, is going to discuss some of the ongoing research at Dudley Smith, but we've got some past projects that show and demonstrate the feed value that you can utilize from cereal rye, triticale, and even the based mixes. So we've shown that. We're getting that information out to producers if they're interested in it. We hope they're here today, right? But if they're not, reach out to us. We can provide those resources and those research results to them.
Mateer presented at last week's Dudley Smith Farm Field Day in Christian County. Get more on precision conservation management at extension.illinois.edu. News time is 27 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Again, coming up at 7:30 in local sports, Clinton girls basketball fell to Mount Pulaski last night in high school girls basketball action. Monticello girls picked up a big win over Tolono Unity in Illini Prairie Conference girls basketball action. And the sign-up deadline for Clinton Girls Softball Association is quickly approaching. Those stories still to come in sports at 7:30. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 63-year-old Julianne McKee of Mount Zion passed away February 5th at her family residence. Services for 63-year-old Julianne McKee of Mount Zion will be at 11 a.m. Saturday at the Calvert Funeral Home in Maroa, with Scott Marsh officiating. Burial will follow at Maroa Cemetery in Maroa. Visitation will be from 10 to 11 Saturday at the funeral home. Memorials can be directed to the American Diabetes Association. 76-year-old Mark A. Smith of Argenta passed away February 5th at his home. A celebration of life for 76-year-old Mark A. Smith will be from 5 to 7 p.m. Monday, February 17th at Calvert Funeral Home in Argenta. Online condolences can be made at calvertmemorial.com. 96-year-old Shirley V. Oaks of Maroa passed away February 8th at Liberty Village in Clinton. Services for 96-year-old Shirley V. Oaks will be at 11 a.m. Friday at Calvert Funeral Home in Maroa, with Reverend Mary Alice Cunningham officiating. Burial will follow at Maroa Cemetery in Maroa. The visitation is from 10 to 11 at the funeral home. Memorials can be directed to the Maroa United Methodist Church or the Larry Peasley Memorial Scholarship in care of the Maroa Fire Department. Coverage of news is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news comes your way, and again, a look at sports next.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore in for some serious winter weather starting later today. Ice and snow spreading from the lower Ohio Valley and the central Appalachians into the mid-Atlantic region, including those big East Coast cities. Tulsi Gabbard is a step closer to becoming America's intel chief. Her nomination for National Intelligence Director has passed out of committee, and it's on to the full Senate for a vote. One person was killed, others injured in an accident at the Scottsdale, Arizona airport. Of those injured, 2 were taken to trauma centers, 1 hospitalized in a stable condition. 2 private jets collided on the ground yesterday at the airport. The average American student still half a grade level behind pre-pandemic levels of achievement in both reading and math, according to researchers at Harvard, Stanford, and Dartmouth. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures in the red. More details, srnnews.com.
You're 65 for real people.
Quick SRN Sports, I'm George Williams. In NBA action last night, Luka Doncic makes his debut with his new team, the LA Lakers, scoring 14 points in limited playing time alongside LeBron James and company. The Lakers defeating the Jazz 132-113. LA currently running fourth in the NBA West, 10.5 games back of the conference leading Thunder. The Thunder played last night, defeating the Pelicans in a rout, 137-101. In overtime, Kings down the Mavericks. Then you had the Cavaliers over the Timberwolves. Hawks beat the Magic, Spurs over the Wizards. Nets down the Hornets, Celtics beat the Heat, and it was the Warriors over the Bucks, and the Nuggets routed the Trailblazers. NCAA Top 25 basketball, number 6 Houston beats Baylor, number 23 Clemson. After beating Duke, they beat North Carolina last night. Auburn's still at the top of the poll, and Alabama moves up to number 2. SRN Sports. Well, the NHL would be playing its All-Star game around this time, but they have adopted a new tournament, a Four Nations Face-Off is what they're calling it. A year away from the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan, the NHL is playing this international tournament fielded by players in the league. And so you're going to have a game tomorrow night featuring Canada against Sweden, then it'll be the USA against Finland. So Canada, Sweden, USA and Finland making up the 4-team matchups. It's a round robin. And then Saturday, those teams will switch up. And then the next third set of games will be on Monday, with the title game being played next Thursday. The events will take place in 2 great hockey cities, Montreal and Boston. And as they say, tune up for the Olympics. And the Philadelphia Eagles planning to celebrate their Super Bowl victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll have a parade on Friday, Valentine's Day. This is SRN's.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. Clinton started slow and could not recover as Mount Pulaski defeated Clinton 52-41 in non-conference high school girls basketball action on Monday night. The Lady Maroons fell behind 14-7 in the first quarter, but played almost even the entire rest of the way with the Lady Hilltoppers. Clara Dempsey was the only scorer in double figures with 14 points. Reagan Filkin added 9 points. Clinton falls to 23-6 overall. They have a quick turnaround when they travel to Cerro Gordo tonight. Monticello picked up a momentous win Monday when it beat Tolono Unity 44-40 in overtime in Illini Prairie Conference high school girls basketball action at the Seaver Center in Monticello. Allie Widener scored 13 points with 4 steals, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Megan Allen added 12 points and grabbed 6 rebounds for the Lady Sages. Monticello it went an impressive 13 of 17 at the foul line. They're 18-10 overall and finish the Illini Prairie Conference 6-3. They will travel to Williamsville tonight to finish the regular season. Clinton girls softball registration deadline is fast approaching. The deadline to sign up for this year's season is February 21st. Clinton Girls Softball Association is for girls ages 3 to 15. Ages 3 to 6 play at Wapella Park, while 8U, 10U, 12U, and 15U will travel within the Central Illinois Youth Conference League. The cost is $30 for 4U and 6U, while the cost is $80 for 8U, 10U, 12U, and 15U divisions. Limited scholarship opportunities are available. If you're interested in playing, there will be uniform try-ons at Wapella Community Center on Saturday, February 15th from 9 to noon, and Thursday, February 27th from 5 to 7. Raffle tickets are also distributed at these times. Practices begin in early April, and opening day will be Saturday, May 3rd for all divisions. To get signed up, visit ClintonGirlsSoftball.com. You can also find the Clinton Girls Softball Association on Facebook. Any questions can be directed there or by email at clinton.cgsa@gmail.com. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer